If you're looking for a smartphone under 25,000 with good software experience, then you have these three options. I'll compare these phones on all the parameters to help you decide or to confuse you further. Let's get started. Okay, the Nothing Phone 2a looks very different than the other phones, and that's what makes this phone stand out, but it's also the heaviest and the thickest. Plus it feels big in hands. The Nord CE4 doesn't look any special, but it's more functional, as it gets the IR blaster and the micro SD card slot, which other two phones miss out on. Lastly, the Moto Edge 50 Fusion's in-hand feel is the best, as it's the sleekest and the lightest. The vegan leather back gives it a premium look, and it also has an IP68 rating, which no other phone offers in this price segment. Other than that, it's plastic on all the phones, be it the back or the frame. They've got all the usual ports and buttons except for the headphone jack, obviously. And in case you're wondering about the alert slider or not, well, it's not there. Now, in terms of design, I personally prefer Moto, but don't make up your mind yet because we have a lot to discuss. First of all, it's a curved display on Moto and flat display on the other two phones. Most people can make decision based on just that, but if you're still here, let me explain. See, the display on Moto is the best on paper, but you miss out on HDR on Netflix and YouTube as of yet. The stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos are the loudest on Moto. Lastly, the PWM numbers are on the lower side. Now, if you're someone who watches a lot of HDR content, then OnePlus display is the best for you because it offers HDR support on both Netflix and YouTube. The stereo speakers are not the best, but they come very close to Moto. The only downside is the display protection, as it comes with Panda Glass protection, while the other two phones offer Gorilla Glass 5. Lastly, Nothing Phone 2a's display is the brightest of all. If you're buying a phone for your parents, I think this should be the one. And if I talk about the negatives, you don't get HDR on Netflix here due to zero bloatware policy. You also can't use it with wet hands. And lastly, the speakers are not very good. By the way, you do get in-display fingerprint scanners on all the phones and they work fine. And for the haptics, well, Nothing and Nord feels the same, but Oxygen OS surely has better haptics integrations throughout the UI, and the vibrations on Moto feel like drum beats when compared to these two. Let's start with Moto here. The Edge 50 Fusion comes with Hello UI based on Android 14. See, when I first tested the Hello UI on the Edge 50 Pro, I didn't like it much. It was unoptimized and buggy, but when I tested it on this phone, everything changed. It felt very smooth to use and I did not encounter any weird issues whatsoever. In fact, I've been using this phone since the launch and not even once this phone threw tantrums at me. Plus, it has a lot of features. You get Moto Unplugged, Moto Secure Family Space, and even AI wallpapers. On top of that, you also get Moto Ready For, which is very useful, and you can use it to connect with your Windows laptop for more options. The animations are also very good on this phone and the edge detection works well too. Now, it's not the cleanest out there, as you do get some bloatware and ads, plus Moto is slow in terms of updates, but other than that, I think Hello UI offers a very good experience and is quite underrated. Now, if I talk about OnePlus, Oxygen OS does come with some bloatware along with ads in the global search, but it offers some neat features like Zen mode, private safe, smart sidebar, and even full Windows link support. Although the lack of app opening animation gets boring after a while, and you only get 2 years of software updates and 3 years of security patches. Lastly, Nothing OS is the cleanest with zero bloatware. The animations are very smooth, and in terms of features, you get lock screen widgets, a new camera widget, glyph customizations, ChatGPT integrations, and even AI wallpapers. It's definitely not as feature-rich as the other two, but the software support is the best here because you get regular and timely updates on Nothing. Now, to sum it up, if you care about the features, then you can either go with Hello UI or Oxygen OS. But if you want the absolute clean software experience, then you can go with Nothing OS. By the way, I want to point out one quick thing. From the day of launch, Nothing has received 7 OS updates. OnePlus has received 4 OS updates and Moto, none. In terms of performance, Nord CE4 with Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 and UFS 3.1 storage comes on top, especially in Antutu scores, followed by Nothing Phone 2a and the Edge 50 Fusion. In Geekbench CPU 2, Nord comes on top, but the difference is minimal. And lastly, in 3D Mark, Nord CE4 is again standing tall. In CPU throttling though, Nothing performs the best, followed by Moto and Nord. And although both Moto and Nothing has UFS 2.2 storage, the scores on Nothing are at par with UFS 3.1 storage, probably because of the optimizations. Now, with such a big difference in benchmark numbers, you would expect big difference in gaming as well, but surprisingly, that's not the case. In BGMI and COD Mobile, all three phones are limited to 60 FPS and the gameplay was also quite similar. In Genshin 2, with the highest settings, the frame rate is around the same 40 to 45 FPS for all the phones. Apart from gaming, I did not face any issues in day-to-day usage on any of these phones. They were snappy, had good RAM management, and I didn't face any disturbing bugs at all. On Moto though, the camera app lagged a couple of times, but other than that, it was all smooth. Now, before the launch of Edge 50 Fusion, Nothing Phone 2a was the best camera phone under 25,000. Let's see if that changes today. First of all, these are the camera specs of all the phones. Moto has an Edge here with the brand new LYT700C sensor, but that's not all. You can record 4K 30 on all cameras on Moto, which is the big plus compared to other two phones, and it even supports camera switching while recording. Let's check out the camera samples now. In daylight shots, it's really hard to tell the difference. All the phones take good photos with good details and natural colors. In fact, if I remove the watermark and shuffle the images, I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference. In ultra-wide camera, the color shift between the main camera and the ultra-wide camera is slight, but the details are captured more on Nothing. Now, it's not a huge thing though, but you can take macro shots from Moto's ultra-wide camera as it comes with autofocus. In low-light shots for both main camera and ultra-wide, Moto takes the lead here with better colors and details. Nothing tries to take good photos, but the image comes out blown up. In portraits, bokeh is evenly matched on all three phones, but the skin tone is natural on Moto and is a bit oversaturated on Nothing. In selfies, OnePlus applies a lot of smoothing. Nothing does it too, but Moto keeps it natural with on-point colors and details so that you can apply the filter directly from Instagram. In terms of videos, both Moto and Nothing looks the same, but OnePlus clearly lacks stabilization. All in all, in terms of cameras, Moto comes on top, followed by Nothing, and OnePlus is distant far. By the way, I'll leave a drive link with all the camera samples so that you can check them out, and while you're at it, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please. Now, when it comes to the battery, OnePlus has a bigger battery and faster charging support, but the bundle charger is not a PD charger. Moto has a 5000 mAh battery and 68 watt fast charging support, and you also get a PD charger in the box. Nothing also comes with a 5000 mAh battery with 45 watt charging support, but you'll have to buy a charger separately. Now, the battery specs is quite straightforward, but the story of battery life is quite interesting. See, even though OnePlus has a bigger battery, Moto lasted longer, and I'm not sure if it's the optimization or the comparatively weak processor, but whatever it is, the battery life on Edge 50 Fusion is insanely good, as you can see here. In terms of connectivity, I did not face any issues on any of these phones. In fact, I've used them as my primary device on multiple instances over the last couple of weeks, and during those times, the call connectivity, 5G, Wi-Fi performance was good on all three phones, but there are some things that you should know. OnePlus is a bit more functional as it offers a dual SIM hybrid card slot and an IR blaster, although it misses out on NFC and comes with only 7 5G bands. I know you must be worried about less 5G bands in OnePlus, but we tested these phones with both Jio and Airtel, and I had no problem with network reception or calls on any of these phones. The Edge 50 Fusion starts at 23,000 rupees, and with 2,000 rupees bank discount, you can get it for 21k. The Nord CE4 starts at 25k, and with 1,500 rupees bank discount, you can get it for 23,500 rupees. Lastly, the Nothing Phone 2a starts at 24k, and with bank discount, you can get it for 23k, but do note that you will have to buy the charger separately. Now, if you want a feature-rich software experience with very good cameras and exceptionally good battery life with a charger in the box, but you're okay with slow updates, not so powerful processor, and a curved display, I think Moto Edge 50 Fusion makes a lot of sense for you. However, if you want the most powerful phone with cleanish software experience and cameras do not matter much to you, I think Nord CE4 will be a very good option for you. And if you want absolutely clean software experience, very good cameras, and you don't mind buying a charger separately, I think you can go with Nothing Phone 2a. I hope this video helped you. If it did, press that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.